This presentation is an assessment of riparian canopy cover in San Francisco, San Mateo, and Marin counties. This presentation is brought to you by Jen Gamarot and Jacob Vandermeulen of the Geospatial Analysis Lab at the University of San Francisco. The Golden Gate National Recreation Area, GOGA, encompasses over 82,000 acres of public land in the San Francisco Bay Area. This area is home to 19 types of ecosystems, over 1,200 plant and animal species, and nearly 2 million people within San Francisco, Marin, and San Mateo counties. This combination of natural systems and human presence poses a challenge for the National Park Service to manage the GOGA. Within San Francisco, Marin, and San Mateo counties, 43 watersheds encompass over 100 streams and riparian areas, some of which provide critical habitat for 37 federally listed threatened and endangered species, including the coho salmon and red-legged frog. These complex riparian ecosystems have been widely disturbed and degraded from human influence, and restoring these systems to baseline conditions using modern forest management practices is a challenge for land managers such as the National Park Service. Our research objectives were to analyze trends in riparian canopy cover to determine effectiveness of forest management strategies for GOGA and non-GOGA managed parcels. We analyzed the trends of riparian canopy cover for the 300-foot buffer zone for 122 streams within the 43 watersheds over a 13 period between 2001 and 2014 for stream reaches within GOGA managed areas and compared them to areas not managed by GOGA. Canopy cover in riparian ecosystems regulates stream temperature, sedimentation rates, nutrient availability, and in-stream habitat, critical factors that determine the biodiversity of stream communities. The California Department of Fish and Game recommends establishing a 300-foot buffer for maintaining stream integrity. We used the Streams and Watershed Boundaries dataset from the National Hydrography Dataset, the GOGA Study Area Boundaries from the Geospatial Analysis Lab, and the average percent canopy cover raster layers for the years 2001, 2008, 2010, 2012, and 2014 from the Landfire dataset. In the initial geoprocessing steps, the canopy cover raster layer and streams and watershed boundary were clipped to the study area of San Francisco, San Mateo, and Marin counties. A buffer of 150 feet of either direction on each of the stream lines for the 300-foot riparian corridor was created. Attributes from each of the datasets were dissolved into one full study area layer. Using Model Builder in ArcGIS, we analyzed the 5 raster datasets of recorded average percent canopy cover for the study area from landfire.gov. Each of the 5 years of data was summarized by zonal statistics, and an area-weighted average was calculated. These results were displayed in an Excel table format. From the results table, we created a visualization of average percent canopy cover within the 300-foot riparian buffer zone. Average percent canopy cover within the stream buffer was classified into 3 classes using a color ramp with parcel management boundaries overlaid to show the locations of streams within and outside of GOGA managed areas. To analyze trends over the 13-year study period, average percent riparian canopy cover was plotted for riparian areas within 7 watersheds, comparing stream reaches within GOGA to those outside of GOGA managed parcels. 4 of the watersheds showed less average percent canopy cover within GOGA than outside GOGA. Both GOGA and non-GOGA average percent riparian canopy cover show a peak in 2008. Within the San Mateo Creek frontal San Francisco Bay Estuaries watershed, there is no recorded riparian canopy cover within GOGA managed stream reaches. Subsequently, riparian canopy cover is significantly greater within non-GOGA managed stream reaches. The average percent riparian canopy cover remains relatively steady over the 13-year study period. A peak in average percent riparian canopy cover does occur in 2008 for the entire study area and within nearly all GOGA watersheds. As noticeable trends in canopy cover typically take centuries to develop, we recommend that more years of canopy cover data are needed for a more thorough investigation of canopy cover trends. Our findings suggest that GOGA is managing land differently than non-GOGA parcels, but does not specifically address what factors may be driving this difference. These analyses are intended to inform the National Park Service and other managers of surrounding land parcels of the trends in average percent riparian canopy cover and aid in their plans for determining priority riparian restoration areas. With this information, the National Park Service can manage streams within GOGA to protect the health of